Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I am going to see if Microsoft Office 95, yes, you guessed that right, Microsoft Office 95 will run on Windows 11. This is known as abandonware, so I got it from an abandonware site. I just use it to test things, operating systems, and stuff like that. So I know I mentioned abandonware in the past. This is software that's no longer supported, and there's a group of people out there who are keeping the old software alive, and you can test with it. So I already have the CD, yes, a CD in my DVD drive here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the PC, obviously, and what I am going to do is I am going to go to this PC, and as you can see, it shows up. So it's showing up properly because when I burnt the ISO, there we go. So far, so good. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to double click it, double left click. Double left clicking is saying, hey, I want to launch something. Right clicking gives you the options. Okay, so by me clicking on it, the autoplay came up. This would happen if I was on a Windows 95 machine. This would come up by itself. But I'm on a Windows 11 machine, so it's going to be a little different. The way it's programmed on the Microsoft Office 95 program is a little bit different. Windows 11 is obviously way newer than Office 95, so it's going to deal with it a little differently. So I'm going to install Microsoft Office. And I look down, my DVD drive is reading it. As you can see that it is working so far. Click yes. And here we go. So this should not be any problem for this to work. Now, the way the setup looks for anyone who's just getting into the computers, 95, 98, you will get a setup just like this. So, I am going to do test like always. There is a joke in that. Now I'm going to enter my key. I only have one drive on there, and it is a C drive, so we are going to do the C drive. So just like the Windows 98 installation, you have typical, you have compact, and you have custom, and you have run from CD-ROM. Now, with Microsoft Office today, you would not get that. For obvious reasons, it's better off to run from the hard drive. Now, when this came out, the majority of computers did have hard drives at the time, but the performance of the board, and the computer itself, and the memory and all that may not have been that great. Yes, you could install Windows 95 on it, may not have been that great, so you can install a few components and run it from the CD. The games from that era did the same thing as well. And I know I stated that in another video. So typical would be everything. compact, maybe you have a smaller hard drive. And I'm saying hard drive because this is 95. SSDs did not come in personal computers at the time for home use. So, and you can do custom. Now, with this custom, modern installations will give you where you have the drive and then you have an arrow right next to it and you click down and you can exit out for that option. That's what the custom is on this. I know I stated that in another video. Alright, so I'm going to do typical. It includes a data map, a new feature that charts data geographically. Would you like to install it? This is an add-on that it's asking me if I want to install. I am going to install it. Now, I did install this on Windows 10 when I was seeing what the oldest Office program that will run. And 95 was the oldest because anything older, unfortunately, the programming that software needs, the newer Windows OSs do not have. So I would have to run a virtual machine and I would have to do it that way. So, and then put it on that way. So what you are seeing here, just like any other program here, you're seeing the features that this has. Now, this program, you know, it's 95. It's almost 30 years old. So you're not going to have the docx format. That came all later on. And the oldest one for that would be 2003. So you can actually do stuff on here, save it, take it to a 2003 system, open it up. It may not show up correctly or all there. It might show up in different spots. You could do that, fix it, save it, and turn it in. So let's say for some reason you're at home, you bought Microsoft Office, and it was just crashed. Can't fix it, do whatever. But your Office computer does. So what you could do is do this, save it as a doc, because the newer ones are going to understand doc and docx. So what you do is you would open that at your Office, figure out what you need to do, figure out a few things, correct a few things, save it, print it out, and you're good. It's the same thing if you're going to school. This would work. Alright, so it says an error occurred at changing workgroup database. That is okay because that is an add-on, and sometimes the add-ons don't work on newer operating systems. So I'm going to click OK. We should be okay. There are certain files that the newer operating systems don't understand. So I'm going to have basic functionality of Office 95. Now, it does work, but if you try to add modern day backgrounds into it, it's not going to work. Because obviously 95 is not going to understand 2015. Alright, so it completed successfully, even though you had a few errors, but that's okay. And it brought me to there because it was reading my mind. Okay, so Microsoft Office is installed. So the old way of doing things is I could click Browse CD, and it's like going to it and right-clicking. That was a big thing back in the 95, 98 era where the auto one would let you explore it, even though you could right-click and do the same thing. Alright, so Microsoft Office is installed. let's see if it will run. Whoops. Okay, go to more, folders. Go here, we'll go to start. We'll go to more. Alright, so that's all the downloads. We're going to go back, we're going to type in Microsoft Office. That's on. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go into the C drive. Microsoft. Alright, so that's x86. So now I gotta find it. Oh, here it is. So we go to Microsoft Office. Now, I was searching all over the place for the icon. So what I can do is I can scroll down to WinWord here, and there is the icon. So here is how you solve this, but first we're going to open up the program. So I could fix that later, so that's fine. And there you go. So it's open and it's running and it's working. So there we go. So I could change the color here. That's a highlight tool. When you see office workers do that, they use the highlighting tool. So this is very, very basic, and it works. So here is how you fix that issue when I couldn't find it. Here's how you fix it. Now, there's two ways you could fix this. One may work, the other may not. The second way may work, may not work, but the first one will. You don't know until you actually do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock taskbar settings. Oh, there we go. So what I can do Alright, so that's a little different than Windows 10. I could drag it out here to the desktop, and it will be a shortcut. So if I click that Microsoft Word shortcut, or WinWord it's called, it should open it for me. So that's what I'm going to do now. And there we go. So it opens up, it's fine. You can put it into the taskbar. Pinned to the taskbar. So now, if I exit out, that is still there. So what you would do is you would open it up. While it's running, it'll be in the taskbar. What you do is you right-click that icon and click Pin to the taskbar. So now you have a shortcut for yourself to be able to access WinWord in this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you PowerPoint. Go to PowerPoint, and that is the icon for PowerPoint. So just to prove that it works, it said it was unsupported, but you have to remember, this is an extremely old version of Office. I don't recommend using this unless you have to, and even then, I would only recommend using Microsoft Word. Alright, so I can go to Template. I'm going to click OK. Blank presentation. I could do this. There we go. And if you click that, I can't click that because there's only one slide. You do that, you go to the other ones. We're going to go View. You can zoom in. You can change color. Alright, so this does work. They give you a brief explanation. Alright, so you need Excel. So you go to Excel, right? The only thing I've ever used in Microsoft Office is PowerPoint and Word. I've never used Access, and I've only used Excel once, and that was at my retail job. They had a problem with the formatting. Actually, I did use it in high school, but they had a problem with the formatting, and I was the only one that knew how to fix it at the time, and then it was going to be a busy day, so I do know how to use it to a point. So, this is all the same that you would see today. Now, there's something in here that I find very interesting. It says Books 95. Okay, so at this particular time, you had accounting software. Remember, this is before QuickBooks. This is before all the stuff. So Microsoft in their Office programs, at least Microsoft Office 95, came out with accounting programs. So what you would do, now this is the one, that was an add-on, which I don't have. So what would happen is you would do your bookkeeping from that. Now there is a Microsoft Office alternative, which is called Microsoft Works. And what Microsoft Works is an affordable version of Microsoft Office. Now, unfortunately, they don't make Microsoft Works, or at least I haven't seen it. Everything's Microsoft Office because you buy Office and then you would go buy your accounting software separately. Microsoft Works is a little different. You could do certain things with it as well, but at the time it was a cheaper version, not a cheaper version, but it was a more affordable version. It's basically, to make a long story short, it was basically a more affordable version of Microsoft Office. So with that said, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and click that bell for more notifications.